Welcome to Dojo and Tea. Let's take a look at our sponsor today.
Hi, this is Natsuko Takeru. So please come to the coffee shop, everyone. We have a always great Hawaiian organic coffee. Thank you. Like, aloha.
411 Nahua Street. This is the coffee shop 831. Please come down and take a look. I'm gonna order myself a coffee right now. Looks like they have some specials over here. You have a coffee sign right here. 831 coffee shop. So I'm gonna go in and order a coffee now. Hi, good morning. Oh, such a nice place. Wow, coffee 831 shop. Yeah. Okay, I'll get iced coffee, please.
Coffee, all right. Would you like 12 or 16 ounce?
Sorry?
Would you like a 12 or 16 ounce?
16 ounce. Yeah. Oh, look at that. They have a nice place here. Yeah, right in Waikiki. Okay. Aloha, welcome to Dojo and Tea. This is Bruce Chu, and this is actually instructor, or I'm not sure how to say it in French, but he is a teacher of fencing. So you can correct me on that if you will. Go ahead.
You can call me what you want. I'm a coach. I'm an instructor. Yeah, I mean, if you want to call me a fencing master, you can.
Okay.
But that sounds a little bit much, but I answer to that as well.
Okay. Okay. So how did you? Where does your fencing come from?
Oh, well, my main background is in Olympic fencing, foil epee saber, on guard touche, riposte and lunge, and that is an Olympic sport, and it's very highly regulated and highly codified. And we have to follow the International Fencing Federation's rules. So it's a sport like tennis or something, but it's also a martial art. Where does it come from? There are conflicting stories. I think most people would say that it comes from France because in Europe, the Germans had their school, the Italians had their school, the French had their school, and they all thought their school was the best. And you might say that modern fencing is an amalgam of those, but you can also say, and if you were a Francophile or a French lover, you might say that France won that debate, and what we do in the Olympics is basically the French school.
Okay. Okay. Good. What got you involved in fencing?
Oh yeah, I think every little kid, especially little boys, at some point they want to be a Zorro or D'Artagnan or Luke Skywalker or some great sword fighter, and I just never outgrew that.
That's excellent. I love that. What are you doing to promote your school nowadays? Are you having fencing over online, or are you offering
You
fencing?
know, I'm not. I've only had one inquiry, one request to do a Zoom classes, so I don't have a lot of demand,
Hmm.
and it's difficult, as you know, to teach something physical
Hmm.
on Zoom.
All right.
I think I try to get new people into fencing, and as you know, it's okay if you have existing students that already have some skill, and then you can continue their study on Zoom. But to try to get new students and to give them a feel for the art on Zoom is really difficult.
Hmm. That's very true. Very true. How are you preserving the art?
Oh, What do you mean by that?
Well, like,
Historically, or
well, basically, like, there's a lot of, for instance, like Lua, that's a Hawaiian martial art, and they're trying
yes,
to preserve the art so that it doesn't die, because there's not too many practitioners nowadays that is gravitating towards Lua. So they're trying to preserve it in their own way, and I guess fencing would, it's not a dying art or sport or anything like that. But I always ask what you're doing to preserve it, like as far as like I don't know, like how would you take it into the future? What do you see it going into the future, and how would you?
that's a great question.
Yeah. Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's a great question. Um, I would say that you're right that Olympic fencing, modern fencing, is not dying, although it's not thriving either. And I
Hmm.
think the difficulty, the reason why it's not a major sport, and it really has never been a major sport, I think, is because it's too quick, too fast. I
Mm.
say that fencing, Olympic fencing, martial arts is a tree, and Olympic fencing went all the way down one branch, and that branch is the speed branch. It just gets faster and faster. We just want reach and speed, and reach and speed,
Mhm.
and that can be exhilarating to do. When you teach your body to move at lightning speed, it's like, wow, I never knew the human body could do that, let alone I
Mhm.
can do that.
Mhm.
But it makes it pretty hard for. So I would say possibly. Well, of course, like I said, it's a martial art, but it's also a sport. And as a sport, it's highly regulated by the International Fencing Federation. So we just have to follow their lead. But one way I might make fencing more popular might be to slow it down. And
Mhm.
actually, a lot of fencers, myself included, we would not like that because it's once you have the exhilaration of moving so fast and doing several actions in a split second, to slow the game down would, in a way, for actual highly competitive athletes, it would be dumbing it down.
Mhm.
But I have to say that I think that's the way to go to make it slower.
Okay. Okay. If there's a technique that you could show somebody that has no martial art background, what would that technique be?
Well, that's a great question. Um, you know, uh, I think one thing you told me was that even if you're demonstrating something to a beginner or someone who has no experience in the sport or the art, that you don't want to present it as something so fundamental, so
Mhm.
basic, so boring or whatever. You
Right.
you do want to try to show them, well, this is kind of advanced. Should I show it to you? Yeah, I guess I will. I mean, you want to make it a little bit interesting.
Mhm.
So that's a good question. I mean, there are moves that definitely would pay more dividends, but they're not that interesting. So what move would I show, or what would I demonstrate? It might be something that is kind of kinetic, kind of exciting, kind of gets you sweating. So you feel you're learning something physically, but it may not be the same drill that I would base my curriculum around. So
Mhm.
I'm rambling on, but I would say that to get someone interested, I would have them do a lunge. I mean, that seems pretty basic, but I would say extend your arm and lunge. Extend your arm first and then lunge. And that itself is hard to do because naturally, when we do an explosive athletic move, we want to move our feet first, or at least at the same time as our arm.
Mhm.
And so I think, getting people to do a lunge, it's good exercise, it's good stretching, but it's a fundamental thing in modern fencing anyway, that you extend your arm first before you move the foot in the big lunge step. So that's what I would, that's.
Okay. All right. We lost you there for a second, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's not a problem. It's just a connection and stuff. So, that's really great. I really like what you're saying, and you're very knowledgeable in the fencing field and in the in that martial art aspect and things like that. And you have achieved something in the fencing as well, haven't you?
Well, I mean, there's an old saying that the older I get, the better I used to be. However, I will say that it can go the other way as well. So maybe when I was younger and when I was winning tournaments in the Pacific Northwest, that is in Oregon and Washington, and I thought I was young and I was competitive and I was. Frankly, you have to be a competitor. You have to feed your ego a little bit, and so. But now that I'm older and I'm no longer competing, I realized that even though I think I was a natural athlete and I am a natural athlete, I'm not a superstar. Because I have seen superstars and I have crossed blades with superstars, and So I thought I did pretty well. Like I said, I was a pretty good regional competitor. 1 year I'm very proud of. I won the championship of the section, and the section included Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Utah, and Montana. So that's a big geographical area. I mean, it's not on the East Coast. The East Coast, it's a denser population, but still to win that championship was pretty good, and I feel grateful that I was able to, I still to this day I don't think I quite achieved my potential, but at least I got the chance, and I think I almost achieved it.
Oh, okay. Oh, how can people get a hold of you once the pandemic is over and they see this interview, they're curious about you and your skill level, your teaching skills? How can they get a hold of you?
Before I answer that, I do want to say that I do admire you because you, by doing this interview and the interviews with other sifus and senseis and instructors, you're showing that you're very you're willing. You like to learn, and actually, I admire that about you, and also I think you're very talented.
Oh, thank you.
But back to my how to get a hold of me. I do have a website, and it's the name of my fencing school. It's salhonolulu.com. That's S as in Sam, ALLE Honolulu.com, salhonolulu.com. And if you can't remember that, you can just maybe Google my name and Hawaii fencing or something like that.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you so much for the interview. Stay in tune, and because I'm gonna talk to you a little bit after the video. Okay, so I'll thank everybody that's listening to Dojo and Tea, and I shall see you again later.